guys look over the side of the boat, you'll see the water's now a pretty emerald green color. There's two reasons for that. One is the average depth down here is about 15 to 20 foot. Back up in Laughlin, it's only about 6 to 8. And there's a lot more copper minerals in the surrounding mountains that add to that pretty emerald green color. And if you look way downriver, down there where it's going to make a left-hand turn, that turn's nicknamed Devil's Elbow. It got its nickname from the steam paddle wheel captains who used to come through here. They didn't have very much horsepower, and with the high flows of the spring and the summertime, they didn't have very much maneuverability, so they would end up hitting that rock wall and sinking their boats, so the captains nicknamed it Devil's Elbow. The last steamboats come through here were in the early 1900s, and the biggest steamboat to come through here was 149 foot long with only about 30 horsepower. This boat's 49 foot with about 1,300 to give you a perspective. Also, to give you an idea of how much water used to flow through here before it was regulated by the dams, when we get back underway, if you look to the left and the right of the boat, you'll see huge mounds of sand built up. Now that's all the sand pushed by the Colorado River. Colorado River also attributed to building the Baja Peninsula down in Mexico. Volcanic rock, it is easily eroded with the monsoon storms and the high winds come through the area. So if you keep an eye out at the mountaintops, you'll be able to spot a few interesting natural arches and rock formations. This area is said to be volcanically active about 10,000 years ago. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to come back. Airstrip over to our right that he landed at. He figured this be the perfect spot for his outboard motor factory, and he'd be able to test the engines out across the lake. While he was here, he decided he wanted to develop the area, and he needed a centerpiece to draw people in. At about the same time, the city of London realized one of their bridges was falling down. It was actually sinking about 1/8 of an inch a year. So the city of London put it up for auction. Robert McCulloch put in a bid of $2.4 million. And in order to be awarded the bridge, you had to put in your offer what you were going to do with it. So even though he wasn't the highest bidder, the city of London liked his plans the most, and they awarded him the bridge. They started taking it down brick by brick, block by block, numbering it, put it on cargo ships, shipped it up through the Panama Canal to Long Beach, California. They then put it on semi-trucks, and the first load arrived here July 8th, 1968. Off in front of the boat was all dry land at that time, so they mounded up the sand and started construction on the bridge. When they finished the bridge, they dug this 1-mile channel, making everything on our right-hand side an island. Named it the Bridgewater Channel, dedicated the bridge in 1971, and it's spent over 50 years here in the States. We're going to be docking right next to the bridge on the island side at the Island Mall. There's 3 really good restaurants here you guys can choose from. On the lower level, you have Mackay Cafe. They have outdoor seating and really good breakfast. Above Mackay Cafe is Barley Brothers Brewery. They have really good wood-fired pizzas and beers on tap. And then across the street from Barley Brothers is Javelina Cantina. Really good Mexican food, big portions, and great margaritas. There also are some shops you guys can check out while we're here. On the lower level, you have The Shack, they sell knickknacks, souvenirs, and London Bridge souvenir t-shirts. Also on the lower level is a Harley Davidson apparel store. And then inside the mall, you have Steve-O's and RU Art Gallery. You guys are going to have 2 hours down here, so by the time I get the boat docked, we'll say the time to be back to the boat is 1:25. Make sure you're back to the boat by 1:25. Do not be late. That's a long, cold swim back up to Laughlin. You guys are going to be in the same seats on the return trip, so feel free to leave anything on the boat that you don't want to carry around. You guys can also bring anything back on the boat that you would like. I'll be your designated driver. If you have any questions or need help finding anything, just let me know and I'll point in the right direction. Just remember to be back on the boat by 1:25. So they melt them down and turn them into those pretty green lanterns. And then over to our left, not this pillar directly to our left, but if you look one more over once we come out and around, you'll see a bunch of chunks missing out of that pillar over there. Those are all from airstrikes from World War II when the bridge was still in London. So if you look up top, you'll see those green lanterns. And then off towards the front of the boat here in a second, you'll see all those chunks missing out of that other pillar. Now this isn't the complete bridge. There are actually 2 arches that wouldn't fit down here in Havasu. After McCulloch passed, his children sold one of the arches to an English billionaire that put it over his swimming pool. And the other arch is buried somewhere on Mr. McCulloch's property. Once we make it over the lake, back up onto the river, we'll make a stop at some Indian petroglyphs, get some pictures, and we'll be on our way back into Laughlin. Feel free to stand up and move around the boat while we go through this no-wake zone. Side as well. But just above the tree line on either side of that whitewash, you'll be able to see a calendar and a couple stick figures up there. And now if you look down towards the water line, where the trees stop and the rocks start to meet the water, you'll see that first bush that we're going to come to that's growing out of the rocks right there. You want to look just past that bush, about 4 foot above the water line. You'll see an etching that looks like a sun. Directly to the right of the boat, just past that bush growing out of the rocks, you'll see an etching that looks like a sun about 3 or 4 foot above the water line. And that sun will be directly in front of the boat right now, about 3 foot above the water line.
Do you see it?
And for the left side, if you look up the hill a little bit, you'll be able to see those other ones up top. We came down here a couple weeks ago and carved these in for you guys. These are a couple thousand years old, and there's been hundreds of Indian artifacts found throughout these mountains. The only way to get back here is by the river. There are no hiking trails or roadways that lead back here. The boat just up the hill a little bit, you'll be able to see that come back again Route 66 sign that I was talking about on the way down.